5 seconds remaining. OG's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant OG's turn to ban.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the live grand final between Kingdra and OG. It is Mike LaPhoenix, and look, before I introduce John, if you were watching that last game, if you took a bite of some pizza or something, let me explain what happened to you. Kingdra, for about 25 minutes of the start of the game, had a pretty immense lead. I believe we reached about 10k net worth, and they looked pretty unstoppable. However, as we know, you can't really give Resolution space to farm, nor can you give No-Tail the same. We also know that S4 tends to be a pretty damn good kind of guy at essentially dragging out team fights and turning it for his team. And well, OG came back after a series of fantastic fights. John, you're with me right now? How the hell do you feel after game one?
I'm feeling really excited, Mike. I mean, that was a pretty good comeback from OG. I mean, it looked really dire, if you'd excuse me, for OG in that first game for the first 25 minutes. I mean, Resolution was the full 3 levels behind the Tinker in the laning phase. No-Tail had no farm to speak of, and all their eggs were really on S4. He was the only one with a decent lane. So for the first 25 minutes, OG were looking pretty bad, to be quite frank, but they managed to turn it around, get a couple of really crucial pickoffs on Cancel's Tinker, and well, they managed to snowball back and cleared out the rest of the map and managed to force that GG.
Yeah, it must have been the Red Bull or something. Like, their coach must have walked in, just slapped them over the head with a Red Bull can, said, drink this, and suddenly, I mean, it was a bit silly, wasn't it? Kingdra, it felt like they were really trying to close out the game. It really did. Like, they were applying the pressure. But the problem with that is, applying that pressure and trying to get quick racks like that, if you give the kills away with the way Dota is right now and the comeback mechanics, and the way, like, how further ahead they were, OG, they just continued to win team fight after team fight after team fight, and slowly but surely they were inching their way back in. So it's not like they weren't trying, because I noticed a few people in the chat were saying, oh, they don't know how to close out games. They were really trying to. I just feel like if you're going to do that, and they had to, perhaps you really have to ensure you do not make any mistakes. And unfortunately, there were a couple made, and OG are pretty much professionals at capitalizing on mistakes. And well, we're here in game 2. It doesn't matter what the past is the past. We're over that now. That was game 1. OG, they're going to try and see if they can, take this to a 2-0, or we'll see if Kingdra can force it to a 1-1. We do already see a few heroes coming out of the draft, being the Tiny Tusker, as well as the Ancient Apparition and Night Stalker. So the drafts are a bit more generic this time around. Nothing too surprising coming out quite yet. Is there anything to really speak of quite yet, John, about the draft?
Not quite. I mean, the Tiny is a very common pickup. Usually we're in the off lane, but you do see it in this safe lane as well. Very flexible hero, lots of new potential. It just works out really well for most teams. The Tusk as well, very potent ganking hero. Changes the layout of the map when it's there. A lot of potential for nice early pickoffs from that. Kingdra opening up with the AA and Night Stalker is a bit more unusual. I don't think that's a opening combo you see too often. AA being picked with Night Stalker, but both of these heroes are fairly common enough to not really be surprised by both of these heroes being picked up straight up, although it does limit Kingdra just a bit, mainly because they've revealed their support heroes now, so OG could probably play around that if they wished.
Yeah. No, it's an okay opening, but like you mentioned, OG now seeing what they're up for in the early game, they'll be able to, work towards ensuring that they don't have the bad start that they did last time. As well as that, Tusk is one of those heroes that it's pretty fantastic at stopping ganks, like the snowball saves that you see all the time, even the shards coming out to block pathing so that heroes can't really dive onto yours. It is one of those heroes that can really stop everything from happening in the early stages and then set up things later on. So Kingdra, again, we sit here and we wait to see what their lineup's going to bring along, because right now it's just too early and there's nothing to really tell of it. I must say though, John, I do like the fact that OG's banned out the Tinker. Cancel played a fantastic Tinker, and you saw him when his Raxes were being taken. Like, sure, he ended up dying and he ended up having no buyback, but my god, that man was dancing around them, throwing rockets and lasers out the best he could. I mean, it was some pretty fantastic Tinker play, and so I do believe it's just better off if OG don't have to go up against that again.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, when Cancel got that force staff up and he was holding the base, it was just so beautiful to see that Tinker just blink in, force staff back, and just dance around like he's driving a car in Tokyo Drift. It was just absolutely fun.
Rest in peace, Han, by the way, John. Anyway, OG. They've got a third pickup now, and it will be the Oracle. Of course, a direct counter towards the Batrider, as we all know. The False Promise, cancelling off the Lasso. It's pretty fantastic. And John, I know that this isn't one of those top tier picks anymore, but goddamn do I love an Oracle pick. I think it's still fantastic in all stages of the game. I think False Promise just never gets old. But especially in the early stages, those Purifying Flames, you really cannot underestimate how powerful they are.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, Oracle's, I'd say Oracle actually got stronger when Talents came in. He does have the potential to get his old ultimate back with that invisibility. So it's a really strong hero. I feel it's just, for some reason, always associated with cheese. Usually when you see the Oracle, most people would assume a Husker will come out. And I'm not sure if OG will go for that. It is an option, though, if they opt to go for that. I mean, Oracle Husker is still very, very potent and really hard to fight against. But the Oracle pickup is really safe. I mean, even if they don't pick that Husker up, it's really good against the Batrider, as you mentioned. Canceling out that Lasso with False Promise is really worthwhile, and you can turn a fight off of that.
There's a Lifestealer pick by Kingdra. They do have they do have heroes that can be infested in the Batrider Night Stalker, so it's not a bad pickup. As well as that, Tiny doesn't do well against the Lifestealer, being, of course, the Rage. Essentially, it's a free BKB, so Tiny can't really just jump in with the Avalanche Toss and expect to get a kill, because generally it won't kill him, and he'll just turn around and start hitting you, and probably end up killing you. So Lifestealer, not a bad pickup at all. But again, with 2 picks left, OG may just be able to dance around this Lifestealer. Like, the one thing about Lifestealer is he's generally kited very easily. And we'll see if they do opt for that. They are using their reserve time now for this 4th pickup. See what they grab. Will be the Phantom Lancer. So, very unlikely we're going to see anything like a Husker at this stage. But I do like the PL pickup. Obviously, it's very good against the Lifestealer. Very good against the Batrider as well, in the sense that it's not easy to catch out the PL. And I think this is almost the perfect kind of carry that the OG side needed against what's up with Kingdra.
Yeah, it does work out well. I feel like it matches up fairly nicely against Lifestealer. He doesn't really clear out waves too much. The Batrider should be able to have a decent enough laning phase against it, but beyond that, it's going to be really hard for that Batrider later on. If he goes for the PL first in the Lasso in an extended team fight, it's going to be hard to really depend on that to lock him down. It is a really nice pickup to kind of tidy up your draft. It gives him a lot more. I mean, as I mentioned, yeah, Kingdra just doesn't have too much wave clear right now, so those PL illusions, once they're tanky enough, they can do a lot of work later on in the game.
I mean, not only that, right, but if the Batrider does manage to catch the Phantom Lancer, you've still got the Tusk with the Snowball, you've still got the False Promise in the Oracle. Like, there's just still so many counters towards that Bat. Like, it's just going to be it's going to be an extremely hard game for Sexy Bambo on that Batrider. But again, in the early game, yeah, he's going to have a nice time. He's going to have the Sticky Napalm, the Firefly. He's probably going to, they're not going to be able to find a kill onto him, right? Because even if you shards him up, he can just Firefly over that terrain. And it's not going to mean any kill. But No Tail, he's not really going to care about that. He just wants to farm, just wants to have a good time. And at this stage, it looks like he probably will secure that. But, nevertheless, there's still one pick to go for each team. The final ban out now for OG We will see what it will be. Of course, John, you may have noticed these past couple games, OG continue to ban out the Enigma, which you can't blame them for because Kingdra do really enjoy running that hero. And overall, if you look at the draft that OG have right now, it would have been perfect, but it's just constantly a first phase ban from the dire end.
Yeah, it is a hero I feel that we've seen Kingdra play quite a few times, and it does do work. I mean, the Enigma is a very good hero. Once you get that black hole going with the BKB, if they don't have anything that pierces that spell immunity, you pretty much have free reign in the team fight, so it is a rather easy ban out. OG going for that OD is pretty darn good, I have to say. I mean, right now, Kingdra doesn't really have any hero that scales well with Int. Sure, the Lifestealer kind of dodges a lot of damage from OD for a while, but once that rage is off, he's going to be really susceptible to it. I think they're going to have to dedicate Night Stalker to just silencing OD, but even then, if you do that, you're going to have the Oracle free to heal up his allies to, make saving plays. So it's going to be a hard time for Kingdra to really prioritize your targets. Although it is a switch up for Kingdra. Like, if you notice, Mike, game 1, they went with a much more global gank kind of split push or just straight up push lineup. Kingdra this time decides to go for something much more early teamfight, early gank kind of lineup right now.
No, I do appreciate the fact that they've changed it up. And hold on a minute. There's a hero we don't see very often anymore. Skywrath Mage comes out, and you mentioned the fact that, Night Stalker can only really choose one person to silence, and there's a couple that they need to. I mean, canceling that Skywrath, it would do a lot of work for his team. It is... I mean, is it great against the draft of OG? Look, we don't see it often enough to really know.
I feel like the Skywrath Mage has the potential to really help these ganks work out. I mean, he dishes out a lot of damage really fast. Along with the AA, the secure the kills, they should have a very easy time finding pickoffs across the map. The issue I have is that the Skywrath Mage is really squishy, and Kingdra doesn't really have a strong opener. They're going to have to rely on Bambo on that Batrider to start these fights, but up against an Oracle, it's going to be a rough time to really depend on that.
Well, let's see how it goes. I mean, I'm just entertained by the fact that we're going to see some different heroes. Oracle, of course, as well as the Skywrath. This should be interesting. Cancel, again, he did do so much work on that Tinker last game. And with a Skywrath Mage, we'll see what else he can pull out of the bag. Well, of course. And see what the hell is going to happen this game. So, on the side of Kingdra, on the Radiant end this time, we do have Jabs. He will be on that Ancient Apparition. Of course, Charlie will be on the Lifestealer. Cancel. He'll be playing that Skywrath Mage. We do have the Night Stalker being played by Buryu. And finally, we do have Bambo. He'll be on that Batrider. And John, the Dire, if you could please.
Alright, on the Dire side for OG, we have Fly on that Oracle. PL being played by Resolution. The Tuskar being played by Jerax. That Tiny being played by S4. And the Outworld Devourer being played by Big Daddy No-Tail himself.
So they switch up the mid lane a bit. They put Rezo on the safe. On the PL. The OD, you already mentioned it, but it's just such a powerful pick right now. Like, the int gain of Kingdra is quite low, apart from maybe the Skywrath. So that Sanity's Eclipse is going to deal a hell of a lot of damage to the side of Kingdra, assuming he can just right-click and steal a lot of int with that Arcane Orb. Same time, though, makes you wonder, like, how good of a start can Kingdra get with the draft they have? They have opted for the aggressive tri-lane against Resolution, so they're not going to give Rezo an easy time in the safe lane, and he might have to end up switching the lane a bit, because he's going to be pretty prone to dying against what's coming from Kingdra.
The battle begins.
Yeah, and that's definitely the game plan here for Kingdra. They definitely want to get that early momentum going with their lineup. A lot of their viewers do want to just snowball up, and they really have early game potential on their side, unlike the last game where they did end up winning that early game hard, but it focused much more on pushing rather than straight up fights, 5v5 fights. So it looks like Kingdra do want to go for these early fights with this lineup now.
Fly will join Big Daddy No-Tail in that mid lane, and it's going to be rather annoying. He can't stick around too long. He will end up going to the top lane instead to help out Resolution. In fact, Jabs was the only one around, so he will soak a bit of XP for himself, but Charlie will join him now. And they aren't actually running a tri-lane anymore, but rather they're running a dual lane. And Rezo will immediately switch lanes to the bot. This is probably the smart decision. They do put the tiny S4. He will go to the top himself. And I mean, you would assume that, you know, the PL wouldn't want to be against the Bat Rider, but against the tri-lane, you definitely don't. Like, you've got no chance to right-click or farm for that matter if you are stuck there. Hotel. We'll see what kind of build he goes for. Like, sometimes you do see the max the Arcane Orb. Sometimes you do see the max the Astral Imprisonment. I mean, this time around, there's probably no real point in maxing the Arcane first, but rather just get the max Astral. We will see what he opts for. But I imagine he won't go for the max Arcane early.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he would. I mean, he could probably dominate the lane quite well with enough levels in Astral, so I feel like that's what we're going to see out of him.
Well, I mean, Skywrath is a pretty squishy hero, so assuming you can get in range to actually commit the Astral, then she's not going to be able to sustain long, but at the same time, Cancel is being very frustrating on that Skywrath. And, well, bot lane, they do try to go for a gank attempt onto Jabs, but the shards was not quite there from Jerax. We'll end up backing off. Fly will stick around at the bot laner. Again, try to help out Rezo. And ultimately, every lane looks fairly even, right? Like, S4's probably going to have a few issues. But then again, he's one of those offlaners where he doesn't really seem to care. Like, he always finds farm and levels out of nowhere. Even in the worst matchups, he's just one of those players that you just have confidence that he'll always manage to make it happen.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he shouldn't have too hard of a time here as well up against Lifestealer, although yeah, it's a dual melee lineup. Lifestealer can do a lot more damage, especially if he times his rage properly. But otherwise, it kind of just draws even, and that's looks to be the story of the game right now. Both sides are just playing rather conservatively, nothing big happening yet, no ganks really coming out just yet, and both sides just kind of content to fight each other for farm.
Well, they might actually find Cancel in the mid lane. The shards again do end up missing. A nice little dodge from Cancel, although here comes a snowball now. Jerax, he wants to go for this. Notel is moving up as well. They do have the Astral and the Arcane Orb level 1 is there, but it's not enough damage quite yet, and now Cancel turns this around. Jerax, he could be in trouble, and he could give away a first blood right now, and it looks like he will. Cancel will find it. Again, we saw this in the first game, right? Like, you try to make something happen onto the Cancel, and it just never works. In fact, excuse the pun, but he always seems to cancel it out, and always end up finding the kill for himself.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's just really hard to kill in the mid lane. He manages to just turn these ganks around. It was rather optimistic, I feel, for Jerax to go for that snowball, even after he missed the shards. Sure, the Skywrath mage is very squishy, but he can deal a lot of damage early on with how, you know, efficient Arcane Bolt is, so they have to be careful when going for these ganks.
I want to draw your attention to the bot lane, because it looks like Bamboo's actually been forced out of there. Resolution has pretty much got free reign over the bot lane right now. It's a bit strange. Like, he is 4 HP. I'm not sure what Bamboo's up to. In fact, he's going to move to the top lane now. Though he is still only level 3, so I'm not sure what they're trying to do here. And Jabs is moving back, so it looks like they just want to switch lanes all over again. They will go for a gank though on S4. He's trying to fight this the best he can, and he deals quite a bit of damage, but he will end up dropping. And so a nice rotation and kill from Bambo. Are they going to switch the lanes around? It's just not very often you see a Bat Rider rotate at level 3. They will find him. Jerax will be there. Shards and Snowball available, and there's no Firefly available for Bambo. Though Buryu will be around to help out just in case. But while all this is happening, Resolution still remains in the bot lane free farming. And he is at the top of the last hits by far now. This could be somewhat problematic. Like, Jabs cannot stop him from farming in this in the off lane.
Yeah, it's rather curious they choose to give Resolution a free lane, opting instead to pressure S4. But I'm not sure if you want a really farmed early game PL to deal with.
They will go on to cancel. The shards do not connect, although it does block the pathing quite well from Jerax. Now Buryu, though, trying to go after Notail. The Astral was there. Cancel is pretty low, but he'll be alright for the time being because Bambo is also joining in again. Well, Notail, he'll get healed up by Fly, so he won't really have to back off. This roaming Bat Rider we're seeing, though. I mean, he's moving his way to the bot lane now. But he literally just spent the last 2-3 minutes doing this, and he's still practically doing it. He's still roaming.
Yeah, it's rather curious. Maybe they just want to give Jab some XP, but I'm not sure if he can even walk up to XP range safely. So it's rather curious what you're doing with Bambo, opting to have him active early, trying to find kills, and now he's a full 2 levels behind Resolution.
He is indeed. It looks like he will join the lane again. So they do end up switching the lanes, and he will Firefly. But this could be bad for him because Jerax is around, and they are going to end up finding Jabs. The Snowball available. Nice little shards coming up from Jerax, and well, Jab should really just end up dropping here. Although here comes Buryu to try and help out. Jerax should be the return, though. The Snowball comes in, and it will go to the creeps. Quick thinking by Jerax not to go after Bambo, and now Buryu copying a fair bit of damage, but Rezo will have to back off. But a very nice play from Jerax, right? Like most of the time you see the Snowball going towards a hero, and you saw Bambo back off immediately assuming that, but it was not the case.
Yeah, nice little play by him. No kills coming out, but not costing your life is a pretty big win by itself, and they really are slowing down Bambo by forcing him to rotate early on.
Going again. They've smoked up this time. They are probably going to go for the mid lane, Notail. He's already copying a bit of damage here. The shards coming to Jerax. He's trying to help out. They have got cancel in place, but here comes the cavalry. Can they find the kill onto Notail? He does astral himself for the time being, though. Jerax, he snowbirds as well. Everyone's just trying to get out. What the hell is that? Notail? What the hell was that?
Oh, probably a visual bug.
Well, it was more than visual. It looks like they'll go after Bambo. Nice toss from S4, and they will end up going for Bambo, yeah. And he's probably going to drop the sigil. Is slowing him down quite a bit. In fact, no, they stopped moving it. Creeps also blocking Notail's way. And they will not actually find this kill. Jerax, meanwhile, finds Buryu at the bot lane. And it looks like they're going to try and go for a play onto Charlie. In fact, no, they're not. It's only S4 and Fly. They'll leave him be. Buryu, he's getting chased up. Snowball comes in. Rezo is there as well. And, well, there's no help around. He does go to those neutrals, though, and they will not be able to find it. Even the shards coming in to block the way. And these poor ancients just want to walk out of their house for a moment. Couldn't do so for a while. And Rezo will actually rotate himself now. And he's going to go after cancel a bit. In fact, no, he'll take over the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, Resolution so far ahead that he could probably bully cancel if he wanted to. I mean, he hits like a truck. Skywrath Mage really doesn't have too much armor or HP. So if they decided to dedicate Resolution there, I wouldn't be surprised. But it looks like he's just going to walk back down to the bot lane and keep pressure on Bambo.
Looks like Jerax again will be there. Bambo already committing that Firefly, and it's going to wear out in just a moment. Rezo moving forward through the fire. Jerax on the uphill, and well, where does Bambo go now? Absolutely nowhere is the answer. Well, the shards do connect, and yeah. Bambo will end up dropping. They'll give the kill to Resolution as well. That will be a 3-3. A fairly even game still. But in terms of farm and levels, Rezo is getting way too far ahead.
He definitely is, and I feel like this is not the early game Kingdra wants. Their lineup is really geared to start going for these early ganks, but their supports don't have the levels up. Bambo definitely does not have the levels nor the farm to sustain rotating like that, and it's just looking to be really rough for their lineup when they want to be online earlier.
Well, Bambo TP straight back bot, but he's already lost over half his HP to Rezo. And he can just do this again. He hasn't actually gone for the max Spirit Lance, but rather he's max Phantom Rush and the Doppel. This is quite clever from him. He will begin pushing that tier 1 as well. Bambo, well, he's going to stick around to try and defend, but he's going to need some help. There's no rotations quite yet, and he's still level 5, so no lasso available. Meanwhile, mid lane as well. They're going on to cancel again. S4 will be there. He's going to toss Jerax in by the looks of it. And there it is, the toss in. Suddenly you've got a Walrus on you. Now Cancel, he's just stuck, and he should end up dropping with the Cancel, yeah. He will end up dropping quite easily. Meanwhile, bot lane, it looks like Bambo again trying to help out in saving this tier 1 tower. But all he can really do is walk in with a Firefly. And Resolution will just walk back and pretty much take it. In fact, the Siege Creep will take it off him, which is a bit rude. S4, meanwhile, will find Jabs by himself. But the map is being taken over by the dire end. Jerax again mid lane will spot out Buryu. S4 waiting calmly with his 2 mangoes in case he gets hungry later on. Buryu now will go after the Sigil, and Jerax is literally baiting with this, it looks like, although he will back off. Nice shards to block the way again. Meanwhile, Bambo, he finds a nice lasso onto Fly on the Oracle, and that's the one they needed. No false promise for him. Meanwhile, it looks like S4 just going to try and TP out, and he will make it in time. The Infest was not enough damage. So they do end up losing their position 5 Oracle. And that is a little win for Kingdra, but I don't feel like they're going to mind too much for a lasso commitment at least. Looks like Cancel, meanwhile, does get caught out. The snowball is there, and well, he has teammates. They can probably help him out nicer. Well, the damn Flame Break is the skill name. Cancel will end up dropping. It looked like he was going to be able to get out, but not the case. And they'll continue pushing this tier 1 mid.
Yeah, I mean, it looked worthwhile for Kingdra early on when they took out Fly, but when you lose Cancel like that, where, you know, you really want him to go online early, it's really not worthwhile anymore. I mean, Kingdra is falling pretty far behind. I feel like they need to buy some space for Bambo to at least farm up his Blink drums, and then maybe they can start going for these ganks again.
Well, they are going to go mid lane, no tell. He does cop the Ice Blast just a bit, but Buryu looks like he's the one in trouble. Jerax, though, oh, a lot of damage being dealt. He does get taken down immediately. So this tier 1 push is not working out for OG. They've lost 2 heroes so far trying to do this, and it looks relatively healthy still. Cancel.
Yeah, that's one thing we haven't talked about, Mike. Taking a look at Jab's skill build, he opted to max out Ice Vortex, which really amplifies the damage coming out from Cancel. So if they're going to commit to Cancel, they have to be careful not to be standing on that Ice Vortex, or they really just melt, as you saw.
Well, they're going to find Cancel again. Frozen Sigil will help out, and now he's stuck in place, and this should be an easy kill, although nice rotation from Buryu. Now the Ice Blast as well. Where's the follow-up? No tell. He might drop here. Buryu will be able to find a Void. No, he will not. No mana left on the Night Stalker, and he will back off. No tell now. Gonna get healed up by Fly. It is a good point you made, though. The AA does amplify that magic damage with that Ice Vortex quite a lot. It's essentially better than the Veil of Discord at max level. Can't blame them for going that build. Looks like Bambo, though, top lane, could be in trouble. The tree throw does not end up connecting. He will essentially waste a lot of time, but S4 does want this. Jerax does not connect with the shards either. And looks like S4's just given up on it. Jerax maybe going to be able to cancel the TP? Not really. Nice smoke attempt though, coming out from King. Who will they find? No tell. He's the only one in the mid lane. But can they get in range? It looks like they can. They'll start off with the silence, and it's a lot of damage, and the Ice Blast comes out as well, and he just literally melts. I mean, that Ice Vortex amp is quite massive when it comes to the Skywrath Mage as well.
It really is. I mean, that, you know, the Ice Vortex along with the Ancient Seal just makes sure anyone literally just melts in a flash. It's kind of amazing.
Rezo, they go after S4 with the lasso, but the false promise immediately. Now Rezo, he does have a double damage. Cancel, he'll be the target, but look at all the damage that's being dealt, and Rezo had to doppelganger out of that. Fly will end up finding Buryu though. And so it looks like this team fight is already over. Kingdra do not want to commit for this. But the Ice Blast is there, and again, that tier 1 is really the bane of OG's existence right now. They're just not able to take it out. Although they are still getting the farm seemingly, you know, well. It's just, they just really want that damn tier 1 for that map control.
Yeah, they're committing a lot of heroes onto this mid lane, and it's actually costing them quite a fair bit. I mean, both Big Daddy No-Tail and Resolution are not finding too much farm because they're really forced to kind of help out this mid push, which just hasn't worked out just yet.
Oh, No-Tail again gets blown up. That combo, he cannot survive against that. Like, I think he's gotten to the point where he should realize that he cannot actually overextend and not go past that river, because as soon as they smoke and find him, he's dead. Charlie, however, might also get caught out. And so now we haven't talked about much, but he's been farming very well for himself as well. They will Walrus punch him. The rage almost over. He might man-fight this avalanche toss combat. It is going to be too much. That's a big kill to get from the side of OG as well. But that lifestealer, he's almost got... In fact, he does have a Radiance now. He had the recipe at home. And it's not the usual kind of build you see coming out of lifestealers, but I suppose against the Phantom Lancer, it is decent.
Yeah, it works out well enough against that PL, plus, you know, stacking more magic damage. I guess it works out for their lineup. Definitely uncommon, but let's be going for that SNY after, so nothing too strange overall.
Tier 1 tower will finally drop. Looks like the side of Kingdra are not interested in defending that any further. I mean, the thing is, Cancel, although he's doing a lot of work for his team, and they have the double amp now with the Veil of Discord, by the way, that's a lot of added damage. His net worth is just so much lower than No-Tail, and even then you look to Rezo, he's almost 10k now. He's like almost literally 6k ahead of Cancel on that Skywrath. Eventually the Skywrath will drop off, and now S4 is going to find him with the Avalanche, and they get the toss back though. He might just be able to find it. In fact, he doesn't. No, they toss back the Oracle. Fly, gonna be the one initiating. Now Cancel will TP immediately, and there's no way to cancel it. So a nice play coming out from the Skywrath. But what I was trying to say, John, is essentially he will end up dropping off quite quickly as a hero.
Yeah, he definitely has quite a timer on him. Like, the moment that OG can pick up BKBs on their cores, that's all of their damage gone. They'll have to rely entirely on their Lifestealer to deal much, and even then, he went for Radiance, so yeah, you know, he's relying a bit on that burn damage as well.
So Charlie will go in onto Jerax mid lane. No rotations coming in from the side of OG though. There's a snowball. It is going towards the creep. Now the Ice Blast comes in and will connect onto Jerax. Well played by Jabs on that AA. Now the rest of OG do rotate, but it is way too late. Not to mention the fact that it is nighttime, and Buryu, well, this is where he shines on that Night Stalker. And they are going to try and find a return tier 1 in the mid lane. And OG do not look interested in defending it whatsoever without that Tusker available. And yeah, they'll just let it go. No-Tail is going in, but it's way too late. How confident do you think Kingdra are right now in their mid to late game potential? Like, they've got the Batrider, which is pretty decent, but again, there's counters. Quite a few counters, actually. They've got a Lifestealer, which does escalate quite fast in the mid game as well. But against the PL and the Tiny S4, as well as the OD from No-Tail, it could be somewhat concerning for them.
Yeah, it definitely is concerning, but I feel like as long as Kingdra can get some momentum going while OG doesn't have BKBs, while they're mainly relying on Fly as their lifesaver, and, you know, to cancel out the magic damage with Fate's Edict, I feel like as long as they keep that pressure where they're depending on Fly and they don't have their BKBs yet, they can get a lot of work done. The issue is, once they have those BKBs, Cancel will basically be doing nothing in the fights.
Very good point. One of the massive weaknesses about the Skywrath Mage, there's just nothing you can do once there's a BKB. You know, it's been so long since we played the Skywrath, I didn't even realize he had a 300 gold per minute talent at level 25. Yeah, but apparently that's and a global concussive shot.
I mean,
that's a thing apparently.
It's such a rare hero to see nowadays in the pro scene. It just has a lot of weaknesses for the most part that you can easily punish. I'm not sure what you'd go for. I mean, global concussive does sound good, but surely, I mean, if if they don't have magic immunity, surely you just want to amp up your damage with, you know, Ancient Seal. Plus 15% is really big.
I mean, they're basically going to be doubling their damage at some stage soon with the Ice Vortex Val and that. In fact, it'll be over double. Pretty darn insane.
Radiant's bottom tower.
So there will be a priority, I'm sure, for the OG side to be able to get those BKBs up ASAP. They will jump in. Who have they got mid lane? They've actually got Bambo, and he's going to drop very quickly. In fact, no, he gets the Firefly off just in time. And now they're going to turn this around. The Lifestealer jumps in. Charlie, the False Promise is there, but there's the Ice Blast onto S4. And he's copped a lot of damage and not enough healing. He might just drop through all this. They do try to heal him up, but he's gone. Now Fly will be the next target. Nice shards comes out from Jerax, and they're all blocked in right now. Even the Ancient Creeps apparently not wanting to help out Kingdra. OG, they do get a 1-for-1. Of course, they do lose their S4, which is not good news. But it looked to be a lot worse had that Jerax shards not come out.
Yeah, definitely. I felt like Kingdra might have taken a bit more out of that fight. OG felt a bit out of position, not being able to respond in time, but they finally have the blink up on Bamboo, and it looks like they're going to go for a pick-off, hopefully.
Well, they will go to the top lane, but Notail again, he backs off immediately. I don't believe there was any wards that spotted that smoke. So just some nice game sense coming out of Notail. That is what experience will get you. They are still rotating though, Kingdra. They do not want to give up on this. S4 is around the area. In fact, he just blinks as well, so they're going to go after him. This could be a bit of a bait though. There's a lot of heroes around. Now Notail goes in with the Astral. Can they take him out though? He's copying too much damage. Ice Blast as well, Fly trying to help out the best he can. They snowball in, and Bambo, he's going to be the target. The Sanity's drop, but it did absolutely nothing, but he will get out successfully. Cancel meanwhile, going to try and back himself. S4 looking for more. Did blink a bit too forward and could be in a bit of trouble if he's not careful. That Ice Vortex again is dropped, and now Charlie will go for it. They'll turn around again. The Astral saving Jerax for the moment, but he should drop. In fact, there's another snowball. He will go onto Charlie, but he's dead. So it look, in fact, this is what they're doing. They're making all this space from Rezo at the bot lane. I was going to say they're overextending a bit, you know, for no reason. Like, it's very unlike the side of OG. But they did actually give a lot of space for Rezo, and he got a tier 3 at the bot.
Yeah, I'd say, you know, even though they lost S4 and Jerax, it's definitely worthwhile when you have your PL basically, you know, free farming that bot lane and taking that T3 successfully. That really opens up the map for OG. The Shrines are fair game, and, you know, taking away a lot of this control from Kingdra, who really want to be active in this map now that they have the blink on Bamboo. It's going to take a lot away from them if they lose this map control early on.
They're going to go after Notail right now, and he already used the Astral. He will TP, and they do cancel it with the Void. There was no lasso available, but it was not necessary. So while all that's happening again, Rezo split pushing in and getting his team a tier 1. So the thing is, it just seems like OG are happy to give these core kills away, as long as they find some objectives, and you can't really blame them for that. But at the same time, you don't want to give Kingdra a way to get back into this game. Bambo, he's got the Lifestealer infested. The Lifestealer Charlie will end up going for a Sanjin Yasha. Looking for a lasso target, and they do find Rezo. They will get the lasso off nicely, and there is Buryu there affecting Fly, so he can't even use the False Promise, but he will get the doppel off just in time. Now the Ice Blast comes in, but it will not connect onto the Phantom Lancer. S4 will back off for the time being, and Rezo, can he get out of here? The doppel up again, but there's the silence. Avalanche comes in onto 3 though from S4. Can they save this man? Not quite. They will find a massive kill from the side of Kingdra, and that's a big one. Like, to get that Rezo, who's just been so sneaky the whole game, and stop him farming essentially and split pushing. I mean, it's probably the biggest kill they could have gotten.
Yeah, it really was. It's a massive gold swing for Kingdra, and that's really what they want. They really want to find these single target pickoffs, and they found the best target to take, which was really Resolution, who's had free reign. That was his first death as well, so he was definitely very worthwhile to take out.
Looks like OG might make a play of their own now. S4. Lincoln maybe. Buryu is around. They do know he's there. So you're going to get a bit of a surprise. He cops the avalanche toss. Now the snowball as well. He commits the darkness, but it's too late, I think. No, in fact, it may not be Jerax. He didn't reach with the snowball. Here comes Bambo as well. With the lifestealer, the Infest is out, and Jerax, he's in big trouble. Glimmercape is there from Fly, although they silence him immediately. Now S4 tosses him out of the fight, but No Tail's going to drop because of this. And they might just find Fly anyway. He's trying to heal himself, and S4's just trying to make a run for it, but they're getting completely outplayed here by the side of Kingdra. S4 again with the toss back. Fly still trying to delay this as much as he can. They will go down, so 3 down for the side of Kingdra. Some nice plays coming up from OG, but ultimately Kingdra were just all over them, that team fight.
Yeah, and they're really getting a lot out of these team fights, and I mean, the net worth lead of OG has dropped. At its highest, I believe it's around 4 to 5k. Now it's just down to 1k, and they're giving a lot away to Kingdra, whereas I really feel like they didn't need to. Resolution's fairly comfortably ahead, but as that gap grows smaller, you know, and doesn't look like OG's opting for the BKBs yet, Cancel can get away with dishing out so much damage, and it's really easy for him to melt down all these heroes if they don't pick up that BKB, which is I really feel is crucial now.
We'll see if they do prioritize it. It doesn't really seem like they are quite yet. Rezo is actually taking the Roshan solo right now, and looks like he will do so successfully. He's a rather slow but comfortable one. S4 will join in. Helps out with his tree. No Tail is somewhat falling behind in farm, but I suppose if you really compare the mid lane he was up against, like, he's doing so much better. Although again, Kingdra, they're looking for another team fight. Bambo already looking for that lasso target, and he has the lifestealer with him. OG, do they have a smoke available? Yes, they do. Looks like that's just might what they go for. They will. They'll leave Rezo to push out the mid lane. In fact, Rezo will not push out the mid lane, but rather join his team. Who they found? It is Buryu. The shards do not connect. He flies away through all this. The snowball, it does get there just in the nick of time. Now the Walrus punch as well, and here we go. Ice Blast comes in. It will connect onto 2. It looks like No Tail again dropping way too low. He might just drop. Cancel just gets the hell out of there. Meanwhile, Fly was not there in time to save his OD. So they get a Night Stalker for an OD. It's definitely not a great trade for OG. Looks like they might be able to find Bambo, but there's no vision for the toss. And ultimately, like, it feels like the side of the die are starting to fall somewhat behind.
Yeah, it's rather curious. I feel like they're giving a lot in return to Kingdra. I mean, they're getting to play catch up rather nicely now. Resolution is quite big, but he hasn't had a super huge impact in these fights, mainly because he comes in just a bit too late, or he hangs out just a bit too far back that he can't close the gap with Cancel and take him out. I feel like if Resolution stands in front and really just bursts down Cancel, who is really dishing out probably the most damage right now. If they take out Cancel early on in the fight, they could easily clean up. The issue is that they haven't been able to close that gap, and Cancel just gets away comfortably in all these team fights.
Well, it looks like Rezo will end up getting a tier 2 mid, although there will be a trade up for this. The tier 2 top will be the target. The question is who backs off first. It's both teams playing a game of chicken right now. Tier 3 will be under attack by Rezo. Will they be able to find this? In fact, the bot lane smoked up, and they are going to go straight into Cancel right now. Can they take down the Skywrath? Yes, they can. And he has no buyback available. Ice Blast will come through, and that's been committed as well. It doesn't really hit anyone but Fly, and they will get the lasso onto him as well, but the Astral just in time. Charlie tries to take that S4, but the shards again from Jerax, blocking him off. Fly will end up dropping. Meanwhile, Bambo in a bit of trouble. Rezo will take him out himself. And so it's a 2-for-1 so far. Snowball comes in. Charlie is dealing a hell of a lot. Sanities comes in, but not dealing too much. Rezo still chasing for Charlie right now. Bambo will buy back. He does not have a lasso though anyway. So I don't know how much he can really do for his team, and they will end up backing from the side of OG as soon as they see that. And although it was a very tough team fight by the looks of it, OG does come a bit ahead. And it was a bit of a clever play with the smoke through the bot lane that made all that happen.
Yeah, they definitely got a lot more. Granted, they didn't manage to take any objectives, but forced the buyback out, and they take out Cancel, which is really key.
Rezo didn't get a lucky doppel off and actually ended up on the uphill. But again, Jerax with those shards. I mean, the man's just fantastic. He always gets them perfectly. Ice Blast will connect though, it looks like, and they've already shrined up. So it ruins their shrine just a bit on the tail end. Nicely predicted from Jabs on that AA. But it does appear that OG are ready to go again. I mean, Fly can heal them up. But the smoke comes out, the shards. I don't believe that spotted them. S4, he might be the first target here. Rezo shows himself at the bot lane. He's got an Eye of Guardian. He still has the Aegis up. No tail. The one left behind. They always like to go for this man in the lasso. Straight back. They pull him away and he goes down. Now they're going to go for a team fight. They caught Fly. The snowball is there just in time. And Rezo, he goes to the front lines. They want Buryu first, but Fly, he can't do anything right now. They just keep focusing him. Buryu will end up dropping as well. And now they'll go to cancel instead. Cancel. Can he survive this? It looks like he really can't, but they'll get S4 as well. And Rezo might drop. Shards. Not sure how much they're going to help at this stage. Nice silence comes out from Cancel from the trees. He does Manta out of it, and Rezo, he's going to try and man-fight the whole team by himself. In fact, no, Jerax is there. They do find Bambo. The damage is pretty good, and they do get him with the Roller's Punch. Now Charlie going to try and take Jerax out himself. The snowball is there, though, and he does grab the peel, and they'll go straight after the AA instead. Jabs will be the next target. Bambo is so, well, actually, Jerax is so low right now, but they do end up taking out Jabs. Now Cancel will be the next target, and Rezo is just going to go him against the world. Charlie will try and stop him, but this is why the peel is so strong against him. All those illusions just being sent back. Rezo, he's going to try and juke this out the best he can. He still has a Manta. Now No Tails here and he says, excuse me, I'll take care of this. Charlie going to try and make a run for it. And they're going to continue the chase. The respawns are there and Buryu will TP, but what a goddamn team fight we're watching right now because it's still going, mind you. Now they're going to chase after Big Daddy No Tail again as well as Rezo. He's still so low. He doesn't actually have a heart, although Fly joins in with that False Promise available. He'll try to heal him up. There's the False Promise. Now Buryu will be the target and he's going to go down again and they're going to focus on Charlie, although he does Rage TP. And he will be fine, but essentially that was a full team wipe apart from Charlie. And you see the Night Stalker end up dying twice.
Yeah, I mean, Night Stalker just respawned, TP down to the shrine. They tried to get the chase on Resolution, but Fly was back up. He saved Resolution, and, you know, Night Stalker just ended up melting. So he's going to have to wait for a little while longer to start playing the game again, but that's rather unfortunate. That really was a prolonged fight, and I'm not... I guess OG comes out on top, but at the same time, you know, both sides lost all their heroes, except for, you know, their carries. Both Charlie and Resolution were really the only survivors. I guess OG gets one additional kill because they killed Buryu twice, so that's a nice little win for them.
I mean, the balls on Rezo though, like to stay around that long, understanding that he's confident enough to juke them out over and over again. Like, he was pretty much 1/4 of his HP the whole team fight. And he sticks around and he keeps finding pickoff after pickoff. And of course, you've got to say Jerax as well. Like, he had some fantastic snowballs to really prolong the team fight even more until No Tail was back up. But it always just seemed like Rezo is able to pull these things off. Does it again. And now Kingdra. You've got to be feeling a bit bad about that. Like, it's got to hurt the psyche of the Radiant end. Understanding that they really only had a PO left, apart from Jerax, which was also very low, and they just couldn't find them. And now, they're going to find Jabs again. Rezo is there immediately. The damage is a bit too much for this AA. He will Ice Blast. That's really all he could do at that moment. And they're going to go for this tier 2 tower at the top lane. Kingdra do not look interested in defending this, and you can't blame them. There's not really much they can do. Like, Cancel... He's doing a lot of work considering how far behind he is in net worth in comparison to the rest of the team and the rest of the opposing team. But it's almost like you mentioned it, like he drops off so hard later on. Like, what is he going to do apart from silence and throw out, you know, throw out arcane bolts for his team?
There's really not much he can do. I mean, doing all the work he can, but lately in these team fights, he's been having to position himself much more far forward than he'd be comfy with, and Resolution just kind of targets him now, which is really the play to go for, because a lot of that burst damage is coming out from Cancel, so each time they control him up, they definitely manage to go away with a fight much easier.
Radiant are scanning.
I mean, so much rests on Charlie's shoulders. He's been playing fantastic on that lifestealer. He is 7-1. He's got a hell of a lot of farm as well. But ultimately, you saw the kiting happening. As a lifestealer, it's just, you get kited so easily. And it's just so hard for him to find the finishing blows on the enemy. So both teams will slow down a bit. And perhaps wait out that Roshan, which has just respawned. This could be Kingdra's chance, though, to overtake this game. There is a 10k net worth lead for the side of OG, but with the heroes that Kingdra have, they can go for a Roche fight. Assuming OG goes in first. They definitely have the advantage with the Ice Blast and the Lasso. They will find Bambo. The Lasso does... well, not the Lasso, the Lance goes out. And actually, they're going to keep going for this. Rezo's continuing to chase, and in fact, now the Doppel comes out. Charlie shows himself, and the Darkness is committed. The Warriors Punch, who's that on? They've actually found Cancel. Astral from No Tail onto himself. Now Buryu will be the target, and Rezo, it's just too easy for this man right now. Buryu will die a slow and painful death. They will back off, and yeah, they're pinging up that Roche pit now. Like what? In fact, they might just go for the tier 3 mid, to be honest. Without Cancel and that Night Stalker, and especially considering they don't have any buybacks available, it's going to be very problematic to try and take this team fight. S4, you jump in, but you didn't go for the Avalanche at that point. But rather, they might just take this safely. I mean, they understand Kingdra probably cannot defend this, although they will end up trying. Bambo, he has the Lasso available. Charlie on the front lines again. He's losing a lot of HP though to Rezo. He's already halfway there. The Ice Blast comes in. Does not connect on the Phantom Lance. And now the Sanities comes in as well. The Infest, the Astral. Charlie gets out immediately. S4 finds the Avalanche Toss combo and he's gone. He does have the buyback available. Bambo though, dropping solo. No Tail wants to go for this. Charlie actually TPing to the front lines, but the Rax is already gone. S4 just trying to back off with Jerax safely. No Tail will also blink out and it looks like they're out scot-free. Meanwhile, Rezo again split pushing the mid lane, and they're going to go for a bit of a messy team fight. It looks like Buryu, he'll be the target from Rezo, removing that vision from the side of Kingdra, and it's gone. Now they do find S4, but the Astral again from No Tail, the Lasso, who's it on? They've actually dragged back the Tusk into the fountain, but Jerax is still alive through all this. There's no snowball available. He will end up dropping. Cancel ended up getting so low thanks to Rezo. And Charlie, he wants to keep going. S4 will be the target. There's the Shadow Blade, but they have vision on him. The Astral as well as the False Promise. And now Rezo trying to delay this as much as he can. He finds another kill. No Tail, he might just drop here. Charlie, he gets rooted in place. S4 is ready to jump back in whenever the Avalanche from the uphill. Charlie, he does end up finding a kill, but meanwhile, Rezo's just clearing out the rest of his team. Charlie again finds a secondary kill. And S4, is he going to play with him? S4? There's a Radiance available on Charlie, so he's not going to be able to blink. He does have the Shadow Blade. The Courier. Oh, S4 being a bit cheeky. Can't find it quite yet. And they know S4's waiting for this. Rezo, meanwhile, does end up getting the mid-racks. Scan is there, and S4, he finds him Avalanche Toss, and the confidence from S4 right now to go for this. Now Rezo comes in, actually, and there was a bit of a bait coming out, and Charlie, he's all left alone. He does end up getting S4, but this is going to be a dieback, and there's a smiley face coming out, and it looks like he's just happy to find that. A GG is called by Kingdra, and OG again takes the game, and it is a 2-0 now in this best of 5 series.
Yeah, I mean, this was quite the game. Kingdra go for something entirely different. It worked out to a certain point, but it feels like OG just definitely got a better